You'll be happy to know that this isn't AI. And I am no doctor, just healthy. And I just like to talk about this healthy stuff all the time. And there's a number of things that go on that are different. And right now, I just I'm at the library. I just walked by the magazine rack, and so I just pulled these up. But this is one of my favorite foods. I'm usually a meat eater, but this is one fat that I can eat that is like premium for me, for everybody, for humans, premium food. But the diabetes thing caught my eye because that's what got me started on all this. I didn't have enough motivation to change anything. I was 270 pounds. I'm 225 now, but I went all the way down to 185 with just some effort. And that's no more sweet rolls and stuff like that. I used to tell people they'd offer me cake, no, no, no. I've stopped eating cake to save my feet. And they go, what the hell? What are you talking about? I go, well, diabetes, they start snipping off parts that, things are dying. And our body can't run in diabetic state forever. If you feed it right, you can. I don't know how long, but I mean, I backed out of diabetes type 2 diabetes. It's not type 1, and I don't know anything really about it, but I know type 1 people that are doing really well because they eat right. And I don't know what else they do, but they're not like this one gal. She's really she's really doing really good, and she's not all puffed up from being full of insulin. They start pumping in. You ever see somebody like they've got maybe a bulge on your leg or something? That might be a puddle of insulin. Insulin is a storage tool for fat. So if you have too much insulin in your blood, you end up bulking up, and you almost can't help it. It's really hard to stop it when you get too much insulin. I think type 1. I'm not 100% sure, but remember, I'm no doctor, so you just have to look stuff up. And if you're interested in type 2 or type 1, just ask your search engine. I have type 2 diabetes. What's the side effects? Ask them something like that. Anyways, I backed out of my diabetes, my type 2 diabetes, because it shocked me. I used to work in the VA hospital, and I used to push patients to their appointments in the wheelchairs or stretchers. Very seldom would we walk somebody anywhere. I mean, almost never. But we'd push people, and the going to like dialysis, for failed kidneys, that was really backed up. That place was really backed up. Well, now they had a lot of dialysis machines, but they had so many more patients than they had machines. And it took, I don't know how long it takes to do that, but that was something I always noticed. And then I noticed when I was taking people to, now prediabetes is what I was labeled with, and I had no clue that I had diabetes. People argue that, oh, that's not diabetes yet. Well, I didn't know what it was at all, and all I thought it meant was I didn't have diabetes yet, right? And if you don't do anything different, you'll have diabetes in no time. And so when my doctor told me I had type 2 diabetes, I just went ahead and walked out into the walked out of the office. She told me I had type 2 diabetes, and then reached for her prescription pad. She didn't even mention food or eating sugar or how many times you eat. That's a thing that sneaks by people, though. It's how often in a day do you chew? Chew food. I mean, you're not tobacco, but not tobacco anyways. But but food. Um, like let's say it's in the afternoon and you're hungry and you want to get something to eat. The darn old cupcake package looks good over there, but you can eat that, and that is real food. It really is real food, and that'll hold you over till dinner easily without any pain to your body. You'll get used to the taste, and don't breathe in people's faces. But no, that's really premium food right there, sardines. And look at it, I'm carrying it right in my pocket, and I have forks in the car, and I'll just eat this instead of being hungry and stopping at a fast food drive up and getting stuff that's killing me, like French fries. Don't I can't eat them, you know. And but there's so many reasons why you can't eat them. Now, what? Well, one is that they're if they are potatoes, they're starch, and one is what are they cooked in? And so many of the oils and uh, whatever they call them, the deep fry oils or and stuff, are used so much they're dead. It's just rancid grease, and there's no quality in it. So it's really important. It's really bad, and so I don't eat it. It's funny. I've been in a position where I needed one, and you can eat just the hamburger patty. You don't have to eat any more of that hamburger. You can ask them to just cook you some fresh hamburger patties. See how that works out, because that's real food. That's whole food. Like this says on their sign, it's 100% beef. I'll say, okay, okay, it's good enough. I I have never had a problem with hamburger patties. Matter of fact, that's my preferred choice of food is hamburger. I I eat it all the time, but I also eat a lot of steaks, and I think steaks keep your jaws strong, keep your muscles good to hear, you know. But anyways, um, it's good stuff. But this is what I started on Atkins diet, which is similar to the stuff that's going around today. Everybody wants to have their own name to put on something so they can sell different products, I think. But I'm not selling nothing, so I can say what I want. but I started about 1990 for a minute because I was really fat, and I felt awful. I was getting really sluggish, and I used to like to look good in clothes. I used to dress up pretty good, and the ladies liked me, and that was pretty nice. But by 1990, I was getting really ill, and this was way before they told me I had type 2 diabetes. So I started on the Atkins diet just out of vanity. And oh, I remember too. I'm sorry, I was kind of forgetting part of that. My son told me one day, he says, "You're feeling awful. Why don't you try to do something different?" He said, "Really different, you know." And and I heard him. I heard him. He said, "Try something different." I said, "Sounds like me talking to somebody." But he said, "Try to do something drastically different to change your ways." And he saw me change. I changed. The Atkins diet was real popular around 1990. That started back in maybe the 1910s or something like that. And the phone cutting in on me here. Um, that doesn't usually happen. But anyways, started about 19. I started about 1990, but the Atkins diet was the low carb life, the high fat. High fat is so good for us. But anyways, uh, it started out curing um, kids of epilepsy. It was taking epilepsy out of their life, epilepsy, and all it's just great. But anyways, so I started at 90, and it seemed to me like I lost 40 pounds like quick, in 6 months or 9 months. And what happened when I was losing that weight, my mood and my attitude was picking up so well that I was getting I was chasing the ladies again, and which is nice. I wasn't, uh, which is nice. And this one was just a really sharp nurse, and she kind of thought I was a lot of fun. We ended up dating for a little while, and that was telling me that my spirit is coming to life from losing that weight or something. The food is doing the right things for me, but my spirit was back, and that's what can happen from taking care of my health. And now here it is. Uh, oh, okay. So that girl and I had to break up all of a sudden, and I have really awful kind of. I got PTSD, and sometimes I'm clinically hospitalized and stuff. And I'm doing okay today, but man, lately I wasn't. But she shocked me, and she made me. I kind of like flipped out. But anyways, I left the diet. I left her. I just went downhill, and for the next bunch of years, I can't think how long it was, but I put all the weight back on because I ate like crazy. I ate hot fudge cream puffs, and after having a spaghetti dinner, and I was also the guy that would be sitting in a restaurant in the morning, having a cup of coffee, waiting for my and a sweet, a grilled sweet roll. Those, I love that. I still love that kind of stuff, but I can't eat it. But I'd have a sweet roll while I was waiting for my strawberry waffle to be delivered, and you can't eat like that. And that's what I eat, and that's the way I used to eat, and I was gonna I was gonna kill myself, and so can't think how long ago. Let's see. So I probably ate and gained weight and lost character and gave up on things consistently until, I'm just guessing, 2015 maybe. Um, all those years, just shot. I went from big time happy party guy, and not a lunatic party, but I mean, fun, having a good time, to sick. Now, if you're anything like that, you can mention it in the comments, or I'll try to answer. I look, I have time uh, to answer questions, and I don't recommend any certain way of eating. But what I always ask people to do is to read about it. Ask your motor, ask your motor search engine, search motor, ask your search engine if there's a way to eat my way out of your illness, or whatever. But uh, these days I fast every once in a while. Uh, uh, like they say, sleeping overnight is a fast. Well, it is. It is. And if you don't eat for the first couple hours after you awake, and you don't eat a couple hours before you go to bed, you get a really nice spread of time off. Your insides need a break. So you give them a time off, and that doesn't hurt at all. After you do it a couple times, you're like, "Oh, what am I eating for? This is fine." But I'm good for fasting for 5 days, but I have to plan on it. I eat right to get ready to fast for for 5 days. But if you don't change, nothing changes, right? So if you see yourself deteriorating, you can change it before it gets awful. And like for instance, my back was so loose, like the what do you call the pads between the vertebrae were shrinking, and so I've started taking various kinds of supplements that can feed those things. And I'm not selling anything, so you know, but I take like type 2 collagen is one thing that goes right straight to those parts. And I can tell when I'm taking it. And here's the thing too. See this see this ring? I use this as a guide to when I'm healthy. Like right now I can almost not can't get it on. Well, there's plenty of days when I can slip it on this easy. Like right there's my little finger that slips fits on there. But it's I could leave it on there now. But this is where it's usually at. And it can I can I can barely get it on. That's from my cheating my diet. I've recently I've had some bread, and bread will puff me up like crazy overnight. And so I wake up in the next morning, and all of a sudden my fingers hurt. That's from food. Don't eat bread. To me, I'm talking to me. Look at me looking in the mirror. Don't eat meat. I mean, don't eat bread. I eat meat, eggs. Um, I'll have those. I have four of those a week, or maybe three. But I really like avocado. But avocado, you don't know how good the fat is for that. If you eat enough fat, you won't crave carbohydrates. And if you eat carbohydrates, you will continue to crave carbohydrates. That's why you go crazy on a bowl of ice cream. You eat the whole damn thing, or the whole bag of potato chips, or that's that's why you get out of control and overeat. It's because all that stuff is kind of geared to make you eat everything. So, anyways, um, I guess I got stuck on that one topic there today, but my type 2 diabetes is gone after 4 months after the doctor told me that I'd made it over the line and that I had type 2 diabetes. 4 months later, it's gone. And and it's and I was really having I do have problems with my brain. I do. But you know what? 5 years ago it was a lot worse. So I, they told me to just accept it. No, I don't think so. I like my brain. And so I've been taking care of my brain, and it's doing much better. And and I got a note here: recovery is happening. It's not like just accept it. I'm 8 years older than I was when they told me I had type 2 diabetes, and I had in brain trouble and all that. I'm I'm way good. And one more thing: getting old isn't why we have troubles. Getting old is because we can run out of stuff. Deficiency. I mean, there's people who have something to say about everything, but darn it, if you don't eat right, you don't live right. And so if you ask your search engine, just relate to any problem, sore feet, you know, just relate, busted fingernails. See, my fingernails are growing. I'm growing like a. How does that work? I'm growing like a cat. I mean, I just cut these like day before yesterday, and they're growing like crazy. It's because I'm full of proper food. So one day at a time, I don't eat the carbohydrates, and I get better. So this is what I wanted to say. last year I went and had a normal medical, and the doctor said, this blood test is really good. He says, I thought that this blood test, if I wouldn't have known your name, I would have thought that it was a blood test from a healthy 22-year-old, and I'm 78, so I'm pretty happy with that. But there is zero need for attention to anything on the blood test. And I spend the time talking about the blood test. I said, so do I have enough, uh, red blood cells? Do I have enough white blood cells? Do I, is my triglycerides, how? That's very low triglycerides. Yeah, and I said, is that okay? And he says, that's perfectly okay. And he says, but the cholesterol's a little high. I says, I don't necessarily agree with the medical approach to cholesterol because we're made out of cholesterol. My brain needs cholesterol to survive. And when I was on cholesterol medicine, maybe that's why I started getting tired. My brain started getting tired. So no, I don't agree with that. And when if you look into that on the internet, start reading about it, and maybe watching some videos on YouTube or whatever. I guess Instagram and everybody else has something too, but you'll start seeing the conflicts about it, and it's not. None of them say that too much is really horrible, like the clogging of your arteries and stuff. Not necessarily. That might be a lot of triglycerides, or not triglycerides, but a lot of cholesterol there. But that's not the cause. The cause is the deteriorating vein, and you'll find about working on your veins. The nitric oxide and stuff that has to be produced. You can't produce it with junk food. Can't. So there's a lot of good things there. So come on back and I'll talk about something else some other day. And if you subscribe, you'll be able to get a notice so you don't miss any of these jewels. So have a great day. Thanks for being here.